Hey guys, this video is just going to talk you through the semester portfolio again to show you where to find everything and give you a few pointers. So the easiest way to get to it is to go to classwork, and then you will choose the semester portfolio link. And there's also, that's where your actual assignment and your copy of the template is going to be. And then I also have links here on your project links and portfolio links. So if we take a look at the portfolio links, it's going to give you, and we are looking at only the portfolio right now, so we're looking at this section right here. We're going to look at the portfolio instructions and the criteria, and then also the checklist is basically a repeat of the instructions and the criteria. It's just a short form, so think of it as a short form. So if we take a look at our portfolio instructions, this is the short form. Actually, this one's the checklist. So it has all the concepts listed here. You don't have to copy or paste any of this because it's set up on the template already. So for example, if you take a look, the first thing that I want you to look for, if you can, is to find an example of modularized code, and that would include like a method with parameters or a method without parameters. So in the PowerPoint, which is assigned via your classroom, if you go through this after you fill in your name and course and etc., and you fill in, there's some links to the instructions here, and there's some examples of what we would be expecting. Then the concept slides will follow. Don't change the order that they are in. And there's some other hints here. It says you can use a single line of code sample for multiple items. So you might actually use the same code snippet for a couple of different concepts. Don't take a picture of the whole entire page because that's too hard to read. I'll give you an example in a little bit of taking a screen snippet. And then you will need to add more slides. So if I keep going down, this is an example of what you're going to see for the modularized code. And I've listed those concepts again right here. So you don't have to worry about copying them over. What you need to do is to create a slide that includes any one of these 4 topics here: a method with parameters, or a method without parameters, a void method, or a method that returns a value. You might be able to pick one code snippet that has more than one of those things. For example, it's pretty common to have a method, a void method, that maybe takes a parameter. And so you could include one screenshot that will cover both of those concepts as an example. Okay, so then it says here, gives you a hint that it will take 3 to 5 slides. And so when you get done making your slide, you're going to want to then kind of delete this slide because you'll have all of the individual items then covered. If I go back to the instructions, I'm going to just show you a couple more things. And remember that before Thanksgiving break, we want you to have 6 slides. So whenever you create a slide or get a slide, for every concept on the slide, you're going to find a code snippet. You're going to then record the project, the class, or what JDoodle project it came from. Give me a brief description of the concept, and then explain or justify why you chose that code snippet. And not only just say that, but I want, you're trying to convince me that you know what that concept is. So I've got to be convinced by your screenshot and your justification that you understand what that concept is. Okay? And then if you can't find a concept within your own programs, you can search for a code snippet online, but you make sure that you're not plagiarizing. So you can get a code snippet, but then you're going to be explaining to me why that code snippet meets that concept. Okay? And so as long as your explanation is good, you should be okay. There are some more examples on this slide, but before I get to that, there's some examples of grading after this screen. And then the due dates. I want you to have 6 slides completed before next Tuesday, and then I want the rest of it to be completed right before you leave for winter break. Okay, so an example of the slides that you might make, if I keep scrolling, the rest of that information there is grading criteria, This is stuff is repeated in the slide, but just examples of single code snippet, maintain the order of the list, use the snipping tool for screenshots, add pen marks or highlights, and I'll show you how to do that in a different video. And don't give up easy points. That is, make sure you include line numbers and make sure that you include a justification. I'm going to just show the one example here of a high proficient, and I went back and kind of squared this one away. And it has a line numbers. This one would give you a score of 10 on the rubric. It has the project that it came from, Newton's Lab. It has the class, which was the body class. It has a very clear screenshot. It has the title listed for the concept, and it has a decent justification. So this would be a high proficient or a 10 score if you guys were to submit this one. There are some other examples further on down in the instructions, so you can look at what some other things that wouldn't be an exemplary project. But that kind of gives you an overview. In order to get to it, remember, go to Classroom and then go to the classwork and then go to Semester Project. Okay, I will create a second video just showing you how to do screenshots and how to do the line numbers. So look for that to be linked in. I will link that in on this Semester Portfolio project and links page.